Turkish volleyball fans are one of a kind. They bring so much energy, so much love to this game. And even Coach Lavarini has to smile. He feels that. Stadium packed to the rafters for the Champions League matchup here between Eczacıbaşı and Milano. And here we go. Set number 1 underway. First swing through the pin. And Milano will use their pins often. They've got plenty of options in terms of offensive prowess. In early days to Kalyalanir. There's Francesca Bosio. She's been running the show since Alessia Oro moved over to this Turkish league this season. Free ball coming. Handled beautifully. And it's too far, out of reach. A free ball for Simge Akaz means a kill for Eczacıbaşı. Coming in from the backcourt, electric already is the atmosphere here in Istanbul. Piva on the first contact, into hands, into the big strong block of Dana Retke. One of the standout middles in the last couple of matches for the Eczacıbaşı side. Too much on it. You'll see plenty of that kind of serve here in this match for sure. These two teams, the coaches spoke about it as well. How do you make the other team uncomfortable? Well, you pressure them with your serve. You're going to see more errors because of it. The higher risk serve, the more room there is for error. Lanier targeted again. Iganu with her first swing, and what do you know? It's a quick point. If you watch any amounts of international volleyball, you'll know the name Paola Iganu, the 27-year-old. Was the MVP and the best opposite of the Olympics last summer, where her team won the gold medal. But Magdalena Stysiak, do not count her out. She's been coming up through the ranks the last few years, getting better and better, more efficient as she goes. The power she's always had is the precision, and that swing right there shows it to you. The angle she puts on the ball, the unexpected twist, if you will. Karakurt's been getting a little bit of viral attention recently for her playing around with that service timing, and there's the new rule, of course, that players can move a little earlier. They can move on the toss of the serve, which just means the server can be a little more creative with when they toss. Good work by Eczacıbaşı, getting out of that rotation, getting Iganu off the service line. That's worth some extra points in itself. Retke puts some pressure on the serve, but so does the block. And how do you like that combination? Jackie Sal throwing the arms over. And it's a high swing. Sal does really well to keep that in court. Iganu. Off the hands, what a scoop from Karakurt. Oh no. Miscommunication off the touch, and if you're Karakurt, you can understandably be upset here. She's thrown her body out, done a great job to make sure that ball stays in play. 4 bodies are watching it. Again, we talked a little about Vero Karakurt having moved over from that opposite position. It's a difficult change. Not comfortable in that passing role, taking on a lot of responsibility with it. Get those kind of passes, keep it in play, allow your team to go again, then this is the result. Quick middle, options available, more offense is running. Zizak. Too much from Lanier. It goes long, and a 3-point spread opens up for Eczacıbaşı. Just too much. She's going for those high hands, trying to avoid the block. It's just a 2-point spread, I correct myself. Another solid serve, and another beautiful block. Jackie Sal has been reading this game to perfection. It's only a couple of points in. Doesn't have to make a move. She knows exactly where Bosio wants to go. All right, now I'm a little confused about the scoreline because that was definitely a point for Eczacıbaşı. Defense good, great cover. Looking for the touch. Is it there on the block? Nope, she's got too much. And there's the confirmation of the updated score, 8-6. Hear that crowd, listen to the buzz. They are not giving this Milano team any comfort from the service line. Free ball chance. Iganu. Cross court, that's her bread and butter. The slice and dice. Iganu, one of the best in the world at finding those angles. Sometimes it takes a little while for the match to get into it. Look at the side spin. Just wraps her hand around the ball to get that finish. Countercourt's been targeted into the service seat, understandably so. But Jackie Sal has been involved so heavily already in offense and defense for Eczacıbaşı. They have been siding out almost exclusively. Using the middle a lot, good sign. Milano on the other side, out of system. Another great block. This time it's Milano doing the work. There's some question marks on Eczacıbaşı's side on those kind of balls. That's a playable ball. It's a difficult spot there for Countercourt. She doesn't really have a whole lot of options. So she's pushed the ball into the hands of the blockers, thought, okay, my team can recycle around me, and they've let her down the second time now. Excellent handwork. Did I see correctly? So the setter gets stuck in the middle, and she becomes the middle blocker. Are you kidding me? Elif Şahin. Get a setter that does it all. Quick grip by Milano. Keeping that 2-point spread. Ball in play. Little off the net. Ratke tries to do something. Easy ball off the block. Good hands from the blockers. And there's the result. Slow down the attack coming your way. It becomes a free ball for your side. That's exactly what Ratke then is able to capitalize on. Second time a swing. She goes off the net, up and early. Capitalizing on a mismatch in the block. 11-9, Eczacıbaşı leading comfortably. Continue with that pressure on the serve. Milano get themselves out of it, and you heard Coach Bregoli talking about this in his interview. Originally, he said, we need to find ways to get Milano uncomfortable. They do things simply, but they do them really well. Ratke How about the cross body over the shoulder? I know I talk a lot about getting the middle involved and how important it is to have them as part of your offense, but it really shows how good the passing has been on Eczacıbaşı's side. The fact that they're able to get their middles going, the fact that they can run directly in front and behind, and they're making the blockers move, and that has to be a strategy. Milano has some of the best blockers in the world of volleyball. Cannot let them get comfortable. Good play, defense working hard, as is the offense to back it up, and Zizek giving all the credit to her libero, rightfully so. Zingakos, the 34-year-old libero, working double time here. Watch this pop-up. That could easily have been a point for Milano. It was a good situation by Iganu. Timeout called. Eczacıbaşı up by 3. Milano feeling a little bit of pressure. Karakorks on the line. She's going for Lanier again and again. Milano get out of it. Piva on the outside with a solid swing through the hands of the blockers between two. Recchi hoping, thinking, possibly expecting that ball to go middle. Not a bad guess. Outside with some power. One of the standouts of the VNL this summer. Yaprak Erkek, 24-year-old. It's been a bright spot for this Turkish side. Leos Demir comes in for the serve. 20-year-old setter, that's what she's there for. How about an ace serve on the first time of asking? Perfectly placed over the shoulder of Piva, and her teammates are pumped for it. Demir again. Same ball, a little shorter this time, still finding ways to get Milano under pressure. Coach Bregley did not like the look of that swing. Pumping a fist on the sideline. It did look like there were a couple of players taking the same direction away, and Piva's one of those players. She will work the line if you give it. Overhead, overpass, and Lanier over the net. Milano on the comeback trail. Timeout Eczacıbaşı. I can't tell you what was said in the timeout, but I can tell you that I did play one season for Giulio Bregley in France, and he is so good about reading the stats, reading the numbers, watching the video, getting the scouting report prepared. So if he's getting upset on the sidelines, it's because he wants his team to block line and they've taken cross. Anna Kurtigic probably given free rein to take cross or line when she's up blocking. One of the better read blockers in the game. She's one of the best blockers in Italy. Jackie Sal pops it up, and another one. The network happening on Milano's side is where they're winning. Anna Kurtigic, one of the top 4 blockers in Italy last year along with Anna Danesi, which is why Milano gives teams such pressure. And off the hook there is Eczacıbaşı to get themselves back into the lead, but Milano have caught up. This feels like the kind of team that you cannot or will not get a second chance with. Igonu, and that's why they have a weapon that nobody else in the world has, and that's Paola Igonu. She can get her team out of pretty much any situation with a swing like this. Backcourt, full power. Ball in play. To the end line. She may not have the height, but she's got the hops. Eczacıbaşı Erkek, just 24 years old. Helped win that Champions League silver medal in 2023. Quick one from Lanier. Lanier out of the USA, the 27-year-old. Handling a lot of the offensive weight for Milano. And there's that long shot again, this time just snapping with the end of her wrist. Oh, great serve. Eczacıbaşı do so well to get out of that situation. All signs were pointing to a Milano point there. Jackie Sal. Into the hands, good coverage. Free ball coming. Should be a point for the Turkish side. Oh, ball off the net slightly. An opportunity missed. Now they're having to work off the block. Karakurt can't find the floor. Milano comes swinging. That's a fair bit of work. Another break point for Eczacıbaşı. Now 2 points in the lead. Pulling the hands away. How about that? Shaheen understanding the assignment from her coaches. Dropping the ball short. Iganu's got the same. She has that in her repertoire. She's one of those players you think she's always going all power all the time. Absolutely not. Has such great court vision and such good control of the ball. Just a couple of fingertips is all it takes for her to put that ball exactly where she wants it. Looking for the line. It's not there to be taken. She's really, well, her whole team really, Milano, are trying to force Karakurt to play the ball. Shaheen on the serve. Igonu into hands, stays in play. Back to the right side, and another good dig. Karakurt off the net. you'll start to see her heating up in these situations. One of those players that loves a high-pressure moment and loves the thrill of the crowd on her back. 21-18, Eczacıbaşı is up. Milano want to have a chat about it. Milano being pushed by Eczacıbaşı here. Going to force to take the first ball. That line shot's been working over and over. Piva's gonna keep pushing it. In comes Benedetta Sartori, 24-year-old Italian middle blocker. For the serve, Ivana Dinesi. Goes forward with some heat, but it's too much, and that gives Eczacıbaşı another point in the right direction. Court back at the line. Still just 25 years old, played in Russia last season. In front courts comes Catherine Plummer-Bowden to shore up the block. Hustle play happening. And you hate to see it. Karakurt hanging a little long on the floor, clutching her right knee. Second look at what happened there, collision. Looked like an uncomfortable finish for Karakurt underneath her libero. You never want to see any players going down to injury. The crowd offering up their respect in silence. Eczacıbaşı now have the unenviable task of trying to keep their head in the game while they hope for the best for their teammate. It's a 22-19 lead. Hadjikin subbed in court position, but here's the problem now. Milano might be smelling blood in the water. Off the hands. Piva, she's covered. Here comes Agano on the right side. Looking for an angle, it's not there. Defense is good. Great pickup off the middle swing. Long from Piva, does she get the touch? Probably worth a check. Looking for an out, perhaps. Definitely no touch on the block. Ooh, just long from where I'm standing. Definitely worth the challenge, Coach Lavarini knows it. You can't take it with you. How about the light show here in Turkey? Wow, that light show's pretty darn cool, but the challenge, unfortunately, for Milano, unsuccessful, which means the crowd cheers and Eczacıbaşı gets one step closer to their goal. Enereki on the line. How about an ace serve? That is exactly what the Turkish side needed out of the USA middle blocker. The former Milano player getting one over on her teammates. Oh, the dribbler, the nightmare of all middles. Set point, Eczacıbaşı. Naganu says, not so fast, we're not ready yet. Milano, one of those players, keep your eyes on her. As soon as the match gets tight, she is getting 80% of the balls. She sees the block and goes directly around it. Incredible angle she finds. Still set point Eczacıbaşı. Pivot serve, has to keep it in. She's looking for Plummer. And Catherine Plummer-Roden with the final swing of the set. Came in for just a couple of points there at the end, gets it done. MVP of the NCAA back in 2019, has been on a storming career ever since. Finishes it off for Eczacıbaşı, and that's pretty indicative of the talent that Eczacıbaşı have on their side. Bregali has so many options to mix and match. Good start for the home team. For their home crowd. You're looking at a Milano side that are undefeated so far. Now drop their first set of Champions League. We got Karakourt back up, looking good. That is a good sign for Eczacıbaşı. They didn't need a whole lot of her offensively, but defensively she was doing extra duty. Set number 2. Eczacıbaşı took the first set, and now they took the first point in a pretty similar fashion to what we saw early on in the first set. Middle was going, and Jackie Sal with an extra angle on it. It's nice and high on her contact. That brings her up to serve. Doesn't go through, but Sinead Jackie Sal was the best spiker of the Turkish Cup in 2023. She's heavily utilized in the offense, and for good reason. Karakourt does not skip a beat. From the floor, holding the knee, looking stressed, everyone concerned, to a swing like that, high and over the block. Her enthusiasm has returned, and then some. Lanier reads the ball wrong. That is a difficult serve, high on the shoulders. Karakourt, this time changes the angle to go deep cross. And it's a good effort, but Milano get the points. Rutke in the right position, using those long arms to take up some space. Milano use it as a target. Line shot is dug. Chance for Karakourt, goes cross again, and continues pressuring the other side. 2 swings, 2 kills already, early days in this second set. And have a look at the different angles she's already shown us. That first one high line, second one long and deep on the right side. What's she gonna bring from the service line? Jump float, but with some pace on it. Denied. Krtigic has had enough of this. In a good position there. Overload in the front means she can kind of hang out with the middle on that gap, and then it's one step to close. That's a good position for Krtigic to be in. On this one, however, a long distance move, and Stysiak's pretty sure she got the touch. Hard to tell from the angle there. We will get the challenge. It's 3-3 as it stands. But Eczacıbaşı and all the players look pretty confident in that touch. We're going high off the hands of Krtigic. Let's have a look. I don't think so. No touch indeed. So a silent crowd in response to that challenge. That brings up back Egonu. Former Vakif Bank player. Here in Turkey, but the fans don't care. Love is lost once you leave. That's an excellent play. Out of system from the bump set. Reiki goes line. Krtigic goes straight to the floor. That's a beautiful angle to find, especially after the middle's served. You always want to make the middle play defense first. But second, if you can find an angle like this underneath the block, I don't think Eddie Liberos would even get that. And especially when you've got Yaprak in that position, the smaller blockers there. Roll down the line is taken care of. The coverage, however, is not. And a monster block is what it's called. I'll call it a small terrier, little yap dog kind of block, more like it. Off the hands, hangs in the air, at least 2 seconds. I love that swing. Krtigic has just gone sharp to the left and then cuts it back sharp to the right. These are the kind of plays that keep the blockers guessing and flailing their arms one direction then the other. Two-handed tip, body's on the floor. Court handles the free ball. What a blocking performance by Milano. By the sounds of it, that one came off Bosio. It's a super pickup, first of all. Indeed it did. Bosio with the hands thrown into the gap. High ball chance, it's tight, it's awkward. Good coverage from Eczacıbaşı's side, two-hand throw. Doesn't go down yet, Egonu's coming in. She's swinging high and hard off the chest. And the silence of the crowd tells you everything you need to know. It's time out for Eczacıbaşı. Eczacıbaşı feeling the Milano pressure now here in the second set. Back to basics. A super pass means all options running. Sinead Jackson-Sal has been one of those go-tos that has not faltered. Everything she's been asked to do, and it's a fast set, so that connection is so important and difficult. Cannot be underrated. How about an ace serve as well? Good timing for Eczacıbaşı to start back on a roll. Yaprak erkek. Club world champion in 2024. Milano now put themselves in a position where they just have to side out. They have a 2-point lead here, and those good passes are exactly the way to do it. Get Milano, or at least Anna Danese, moving. So the blockers stay with her. That ball was very close to looking like an ace for me. Rolled out of bounds. Jackson-Sal goes short on Piva. Oh, what a rip. Middle to middle. We called it. I called it. We called it. You called it. We all knew. Middle to middle. That is the perfect swing. When I say middle, I don't mean middle of the court. I mean middle blocker. It's a middle blocker. Katakurt. Off hands down the line. Too much. Too far for Lanier to fill in the gap. Katakurt handling that first contact. That's what gets her in a good position here. And a serve. Eczacıbaşı have been doing the damage from the end line. Elif Şahin takes control. Ties us up. This time more inside. Push through from Igonu. Defense good. Chance again. Milano coming on the outside with the overload. And Piva is sure of the touch. Ball is called out. Referee confirming it. Now he's saying, do you want the challenge? Do you want the touch? Ooh. Tough to tell. Hard to tell if the blocker touched the ball or touched the attacker. That's the question in my mind. Did Magdalena Stysiak grab Piva's hands, thinking they were the ball, trying to get the ball, but maybe missed the ball, and then Piva felt that and said, oh, she definitely touched the ball. Nope, she did. Touched the ball, point goes Milano. And now we know. Take off my detective hat now. Katakurt wants the touch. She is sure. It's called out of bounds. We're looking for the touch. Bill Kennedy, the referee in the NBA, does a great job of explaining exactly what's going on to the microphone, to the camera. We would love to have him on court right now to give us a full breakdown of what's going on. We're looking for the touch. Katakurt was sure of it, and she'll get it. Point stays with Eczacıbaşı. These two teams so well matched. 11-11, French fries on the board if you're Kevin Barnett. And there's the tickle over from Piva. It's not always the hard-driven ball. Those are the balls that make Giulio Bregoli lose sleep at night. He knows Piva so well. Can read her body language, and maybe that's part of the scouting report as well. Radke goes deep. Those almost veteran players at this point. Dana Radke, at just 26 years old, came out of Wisconsin University of Wisconsin before heading over to play in Milano. Now a fixture here for Eczacıbaşı. For point at the moment, and Piva's doing such a good job working off those hands on the outside. An angle, and it's just wide. Stysiak so close. That's a precise shot, and it's a good one at that. Beats the block. Goes just wide of the defender. If that's in by another inch, that's perfect swing. Piva and Milano now up by 2. How about 3 with an ace serve down the line? Milano's aces have been few and far between. That was a good timed one. Eerily quiet in the gym. There's the noise. Got a system play. And Keck on the swing. Paula Egonu on the tip. Good read by Stysiak. Here comes Karakurt into a big stuff block, and again. Now that's a good work by the Milano blockers, making good moves, bringing their hands back in. But I continue to wonder, if a ball has to travel that far back into the court, how it's not touched by someone in the coverage. Not keeping account, but it's at least 3 times we've seen the ball just coverable ball not be covered. 16-12 now is the lead for Milano. And the blocking is starting to come thick and hard. Kurtigic given no space at the net for Bowden. Tries to turn it back down the line to Bosio, but she is a sneaky good blocker. Timeout called. 5-point lead for Milano. Piva on the serve. And another pressure serve for Milano. They have not let up in this second set. It's now an 18-12 lead. Eczacıbaşı breaking down in some very crucial ingredients in their volleyball game. Bowden on the first. Stysiak goes off hands. Here comes Lanier on the right side. It's dug. Cross court. Up still. Egonu. Not down yet. Hustle play continues. That's an excellent work by Eczacıbaşı. But it's Milano and Igonu on the hustle. On the point scoring train are the ladies in blue. Well, it looks as if Jackie Sal got up a little awkwardly from that roll. Indeed, she will sub out. Emily Maglio subbed in, the Canadian middle blocker. Now or never for Eczacıbaşı here in this second set. Bowden trying to get some bodies on the floor. At the very least there, you've got Igonu on the floor. You know where the block is going to pay more attention to. Just wide. First swinging error we've seen out of Kurtigic. Now's the chance for Eczacıbaşı. How do they capitalize on this? Well, can serve a little tougher. We've got a double sub on Milano's side. Vita Akimova of Russia and Cami Miner out of the USA brought in. Let's see if this change brings about any more points for Milano. They were already in a good position. They just have to side out point for point, and they'll be fine. That'll get them over the line. Miner with the bump set. Lanier off the head of the block. And a good combination play. Leads to a good heads-up play as well. Lanier. Recognizing a tight set when she sees one. 20-14 lead. This ball has to be good from Eczacıbaşı. That'll do as well. Eczacıbaşı right now needs to find ways to pass that ball. It's such good reception in the first set and early days in the second set. Kind of gone off the rails with it. Can they do the opposite? Can they do what Milano's done to them now with their serve? That's a good start. Gets Miner sprinting. And a free ball. Should be a chance. Eczacıbaşı points? Not yet. Akimova goes full throttle. And Kata court with too much height on it. It was a short-lived substitution. It sounds like there's a challenge on the floor. Perhaps looking for a touch. That's all I can imagine is within challengeable reason. I mean, technically you can challenge whatever you want. Ball in or out. Ball up or down. Touching of the center line, touching of the net. And indeed, we do get a net touch challenge, but there is not one. Unsuccessful. Point remains with Milano. That felt as though it was a clutching of straws. Sometimes those challenges do have that kind of effect. Coaches are just hoping to slow down some of the momentum somehow, and Milano has all the momentum at the moment, it feels like. What they don't have on court is a setter. Okay, back into it. So Milano relying on their solid block here. No setter on court. And there's the results. A ball way too inside, and Nagano unable to find the angle. Whenever there's no setter, and it's sort of halfway through the double sub when the opposite has come back in and the other opposite is back to serve. Milano's got to talk a little bit more. That communication has to be at a premium in that particular rotation. Bumps that out of system play. Lanier does not care. Out of system, schmatter-schmistem is what she says. Beautiful swing. The angle on it as well. And she was going up against a Retke block. (22-16). Milano bring in their super server. And Emma Cagnin. Katakurt back to her ways. You won't see her slow down. She can make 3, 4, 5, 17 errors in a row. Doesn't matter. She's coming back swinging the next time. And number 99 is always going at 100%. Ball's popped up. Great defense. Ako is working hard in the backcourt. Versino throws one up for Igonu. Off hands, what a defense, and again, Katakurt sacrificing the body. It's in an awkward, unplayable spot, according to her teammates. Have a look at this, just laying out to be there. You'd hope at least a hand gets thrown out in that direction. 23-17, Milano in the driver's seat. But Stysiak wants to heat her engine up. Stysiak, the best scorer of the World Olympic qualifications in 2024. It's a 5-point deficit for Eczacıbaşı. Katakurt floats it deep. She's on Cagnin. Defense is good. Milano going again to the outside this time. Piva denied. And a fresh legs in the middle. Results in a monster block for Eczacıbaşı. Bengisu Aygun, the 21-year-old middle blocker. An unexpected change, but pays off for Eczacıbaşı. And they'll get a timeout out of Milano. The crowd getting behind Eczacıbaşı. But nobody getting behind that tip. Milano are finding the empty spaces on Eczacıbaşı's court, and I love to see the change up, especially from players that have been hitting hard the entire match. Let's get to one of them. Set, point, Milano. Going up against a few former Milano players, Retke one of them. Igonu on the serve. Doesn't find the ace, doesn't find the defense, and Eczacıbaşı stay alive. This is a high pressure moment for Eczacıbaşı. Retke. Can't get it done, it's a freebie, and that will give the set to Milano. This is a team that you cannot give free points to. They will make you pay. And that's exactly what we saw out of Milano in this second set. Stepped up their game offensively, defensively, all things started firing. Final look at that last serve, but it doesn't tell the whole story. Reception went way down on Eczacıbaşı's side, and they couldn't use the options that they had earlier on. There's the result, 25-20 that second set after a 25-21 win for Eczacıbaşı in the first. We're tied up, one set apiece here in the Champions League. Polish national team as well. I mean, there is just so much overlap between these two teams, so much history as well. They've only played each other officially under these jerseys twice. Both those wins went to Milano, but the world of volleyball just gets more and more intricate the longer you're in it. Future team talkers. Eczacıbaşı and Milano all tied up here as we get underway with the third set. Milano looking to repeat the second. And an awkward out-of-system set puts the first point on the board for Eczacıbaşı. But I like the way Milano's been playing. They have been promoting that hustle culture. And they've figured out a couple of open spaces on Eczacıbaşı's side, and that's the key here. Not to swing harder, but to swing smarter. And in this particular instance, even if you get Stysiak on the floor, even if she gets that ball popped up, your blockers have an easier job following that. Too much, Milano giving up a couple of free points in the serve. Eczacıbaşı have 4 aces over the match so far. Milano just 2. But they did step up their serving game in the second set, and that's what they're trying to repeat. And that's what Egonu is trying to repeat day after day. I mean, that's just another day at the office for Paolo Egonu. That is a typical swing. Underneath the block, inside the defense. I mean, hitting the defender on the way through as well. Inside the 3-meter line. Elite. That's not bad either. Dana Retke showing a bit of spice. He was the MVP and the best middle of the NCAA in 2022. Hitting high, hitting hard. She beats Danese. Always going for a deep swing. That's the key to her success. And again, Diva's pretty sure she got the touch and that it was in. Diva's been working down that line, and Gregory is so frustrated on the sidelines. She's been calling it all match long, that especially if that ball is tight, that's when you gotta take the line. And Milano follow up with a quick ace in succession. Body language not looking good on Eczacıbaşı's side after Danese with a flat ace serve, no spin. Stysiak off the hands. Can't get it done. Neither can Countercourt. Going again is Milano. Piva with the tip. Doesn't fall. Great up. And Lavarini thinks that ball might have been down. Here's a second look at that pancake. Ooh, tough to tell. It converts into a nice swing. We will get a challenge. With these pancakes as well, you're battling physics, because if the ball, even in the slightest degree, is not completely on your hand, it kind of has to catch you almost on the back of your palm, if not towards your wrist, because if it catches you on the fingers, chances are it's going to compress in some way and catch the ground. And that's what Coach Lavery is betting on here. Mission impossible to figure out when that ball touched the ground. I mean, what about the light show, though? What a spectacle. If you're a fan and you go to a volleyball match in Turkey, this is what you can expect. I mean, this is NBA level entertainment. This is WWE in volleyball form. It seems like such a simple addition as well. Just a couple of lights, a bit of music, the LED boards. I'm transported into a movie right now. As it should be. Volleyball is such an entertaining sport. I think the world's starting to figure out. You know it, I know it, all these players and these fans clearly know it. Volleyball's having a moment, and I'm here for it. Give it a couple of years and every stadium should look like this. I was given a lot of credit to the Polish team yesterday in Vuc, as they had some really beautiful camera work, but they certainly didn't have any kind of spectacle like this. This is next level. Ooh, I was in a trance there for a sec. Anybody else? Looks like the challenge was unsuccessful. Eczacıbaşı keep the point. That brings Karakurt to the line. She's going down the same line. And Ganu's going back at it. What a scoop. Off the hands, Bosdio's on the run, but Eczacıbaşı take the points. With a renewed vigor here in the third set. Again, it's the defensive work of Karakurt that's keeping balls in play. Give a lot of credit to the attackers and the blockers at the net, but that defense, especially on a break point, can make or break your team. Karakurt means Black Wolf in Turkish. Keep an eye on her tattoo on her neck. You might get a sneak peek of it at some point. Meanwhile, how about a sneak peek of an ace? Paula Ganu just looks so calm and collected after absolutely destroying teams with her serve. Top spin. Looks for another one. Yes, indeed. 2 ace serves. The Paula Ganu show is just heating up. And how do you like that? She goes left side, then she goes right side. She's really testing the angles of physics and gravity. For her third act, it's handled. Doesn't come back over the net though, and that's 3 points unanswered. Eczacıbaşı need to have a chat about it. It's 5-8. stare down continues. Igonu at the line. Going for counter court this time. Tip. Comes back over. Going again. Stysiak with the blind swing. Spinning around like she's in a washing machine before she gets it done. Cannot be underrated how difficult this move is. The turnaround, the flip around, the step, and the swing. Those are the technical terms, by the way. How about a block as well as Eczacıbaşı starting their comeback. And Jackie Saal this time getting the better of her Milano opponents. Trying to turn it sharp underneath. Recchi looks for Lanier. USA on USA action, but Igonu knows the drill. She knows the assignment. Look down the line, but hang on a sec. Did she catch the antenna with it? Eczacıbaşı coming back, 7-8. Ball in play, back to Igonu, off hands and out of bounds from the backcourt, no less. The vision that Igonu has to see the blockers, choose the direction to swing at, look for the hands and hit hard. Elite. Piva goes on Yaprak. Off the hands, that's recycled. Playing again, back to Stysiak. Gets underneath it. Best outside the European champs in 2023. Have a look at that swing. The angle, the height, and also the spin on it. Stysiak going again. Off the hands, recycle play. Chance for Eczacıbaşı. Igonu on the tip and then on the swing. Bump set. Stysiak on the right side. Hammers it home through the block. There's a little bit of space. Just a crack in the umbrella to let the light in, and Stysiak finds it. She's feeling extra spice against her former team. Igonu, no stare downs, no pressure, just performance. I don't mind a stare down. I don't mind a little chat through the net. I think our sport could use all that extra tension. Respectfully, of course. 10-10 as Milano go back into their serving run. It's shut down though. Today Jackie Saal. A quick rip from behind is all it takes. Head kick. Look it on Piva. That's going way off the net. Doesn't matter. Igonu's there. Doesn't find the point. High ball coming. Cross court. Does it touch? Does it find anything? Court would love to say yes, but the answer is no. Ooh, close. Not a bad swing at all. It's game of inches, really. Jackie Saal leaves no room for judgment. That ball fully in the court. Here's a testament back again to the passing that's happening on Eczacıbaşı's side. They've stepped up their reception. That's what was missing for me in that second set. Get your bill going. How about she gets going from the backcourt as well? An ace serves, and then Jackie Saal just drops the air out of it. the libero, Faustino no less. Zero spin, all pop, and a bit of float in the air as well. 2-point lead. Hands are there, here's the cover. Stays in play, no whistle blown. Redkey tries to go deep, that's coming back. And into the hands. Milano trying to close the gap. They're down by just one. Is Cattercourt the one to do it? Yes, she is. Finds the honey pot. She's gone high enough over a very tall Milano block. Recognizes that Bosio is one step deep. Two-point lead for the home side. Leaf Shaheen, who's been at Eczacıbaşı since 2020. Put some heat on her serve. It's coming on the outside, and Piva slices it underneath the block. He closed the gap. Solid serve as Eczacıbaşı's off. And the block is well and truly on, especially when it's Kurtagic. Starts with that top serve, and then she's able to make her move early. Finish with her arms on the cross court. She's taken away all that angle. We're tied up at 14s. Stesiak in the hands again. Second time, takes some heat off it, changes the speed. We talk a lot about how to win volleyball games. If you're an attacker, there's so many different ways that you can put pressure on the block. It's the power, it's the height, it's also the speed. If you're playing with the block timing, when they're on the way down, that's when you swing, or you go early and try and beat them. And Emily Maglio checks in for Eczacıbaşı. Free ball coming. 1-point lead for Eczacıbaşı. Could turn into two here. Nope, not gonna happen. Milano shut the door. Blocking has been a bright spot for Milano. We knew it would be. Talk a lot about these middles, but how about Iguanu with her arm span? Just out by an inch. Of inches, this volleyball. Double sub, back in. Minor on the courts, joined by Vita Akimova. The substitution in the second set worked out in Milano's favor. Lanier on the first. Kurtagic rips it off the set from Minor. Man, I like that out of Minor, choosing her middle blocker early. Nice and high, plenty of space to work with. Tied up at 16s, we continue to be neck and neck. It is anybody's game here. Eczacıbaşı up by 1. Chance for Milano to respond. Into the hands, big block, that's not going to do it. And Eczacıbaşı continue in the right direction. Eczacıbaşı has been on another level today. Understandably so at 18-16, the timeout coming. Milano with another big play. The blocking has been next level by Milano. And especially to come so late in a rally, that work at the net paying off big time for Kurtigic. Eczacıbaşı hanging on by 1 point. Eczacıbaşı goes cross, she's dug. Big swing. Kimova, not yet. Just long. Stysiak wants the touch. We're gonna get a second look at it, but from that angle, that looked well over the block. Or maybe not. Does Eczacıbaşı get the point? On we go. Eczacıbaşı up by 2. Pressure down the middle to Piva. Lanier adds some speed to her swing. Milano trying to close the gap. Itakimova, the better servers on Milano's side, cannot find the court. And that lets Eczacıbaşı off the hook. 2-point lead they have heading down the stretch. Eczacıbaşı on the serve. Goes line to Fersino. Lanier off the hands. High ball to the right side. It's tight. Milano handle it. Going again. Lanier. Stronger, longer, but out of bounds. Looking for touch. And Eczacıbaşı think no. Milano say yes, please. Oh, certainly not Elif Şahin. She pulled her hands away on the second time. Saw that work earlier on in the first set, I believe it was. Oh, that is so close. touch is given to Milano. And a hugely important challenge. One keeps the match close, keeps the scoreline tight. Makagin on the serve. She was brought in, used to good in the last set. High swing. That's not going down. Chance for Milano. It's Eczacıbaşı to defend. And long from Stesiak means Milano have tied it up, 20 points apiece. Court into the hands. That's recycled. Goes a second time. Still doesn't find the floor. Piva just goes straight into the deep corner. The coffin corner, as it's known sometimes, where balls go to die. High, it's flat. There is nobody defending there. Pays off big time for Milano. Ball was out of bounds. Gets played. Opportunity for Eczacıbaşı. And that was a little bit of help. It did look as if it was going to be an ace serve originally. Eczacıbaşı get themselves in a good situation here. 21 points apiece. Rosino is on it. Igonu as well, and a point for Milano. Milano keep going back to Igonu when they need her. This is the key. Big swing, 22-21 is the lead for Milano. And the slices get thinner and thinner if you're Paola Igonu. 13 points already for the Italian opposite. And they are coming like this on the shoulder blades. Timeout, Eczacıbaşı down by 2. Two-point lead, Milano. Eczacıbaşı swinging high off the hands. Recycle play. Chance for Milano, and it is Paola Igonu who continues to do work. Set point Milano here in the third. Quick change through the middle. Dana Redke, who knows this Milano side better than anyone, played there last season. It's 24-22. Milano want a last minute to chat. Timeout called. Set point, Milano. Ball in play. Back to Agonu. Body's on the floor. Chance for Bowden to put it over. Free ball, Milano. Is this the one? Yes, it is. Paolo Agonu. Just taking out the trash as per usual. The Italian stallion of an opposite gets it done for Milano in the third set. They are now 2-1 over Eczacıbaşı here in Istanbul. And it's shots like that that make it happen. The first time, go with the tip. The second time, hard driven down the line. And Milano putting on a show here of professionalism. Seen them get better and better as the match progresses. There are the score lines. Here in the third set, it was tighter all the way up to about 22. And Milano just finishing it off. I know you've got things to say. I know you've got fans. You've got players that you're fans of. Vice versa, maybe there are players that are fans of you. You want to chat about that. All things possible here on Champions League. We are friends of volleyball. Agonu with a little smirk. The team looking good here. Fourth set underway. Milano are looking for a victory here. They would love to get this done in 4 sets. But Eczacıbaşı here at home will have something else to say about it. Not a great sign to start. Sinead Jakisawa was on point. Every contact so far, and there it is, back to normal. Balance restored in the world of middle blockers. High ball to the outside. Defense good. Middle blocker defense at that. Tip from Karakurt doesn't fall, but it does scramble, and that gets Eczacıbaşı their second point on the board. Eczacıbaşı trying to find ways. Talked about this in the beginning. How did each team put pressure on each other? Well, Eczacıbaşı found some tips and rolls in that first set. Maybe they start to go back to that. Dynavit, though, going back to the deep corner. That's her bread and butter. In addition to that, a perfect pass from Piva puts it in that situation where Dynavit's swinging deep. She often is. Not looking for the sharp, not letting the mere mortals touch the ball. Good reception, and the middle going on Eczacıbaşı's side as well. Brecki versus Dynavit. Those two know each other so well. Şahin deep to Fersino. That's handled well. Quick snap from Piva. She's been one of the go-to players on Milano's side. She's been delivering over and over. Piva, 12 points so far on the night. How about a block and then follow it up with an ace serve? Anna Danesi does a little bit of everything. And it's that float ball that kind of just drops out of the air. She also plays with the distance. She'll go deep, then she'll go short. Eczacıbaşı do really well to get her off the service line. They're going back to their middle. It's feeling like the Rekki Danesi show here early days in the fourth set. Again, look at the change up, the direction. This time over the shoulder. One-handed set from Bosio. Are you kidding me? Now we're just showing off at this point. Milano has so many skilled players in different areas. Watch this. It's tight. Just the one-handed push, the flick of the wrist, if anything. And Igonu says, yeah, I'll have that. You can eat that up. Plays like that remind you these players are in fact human. Errors do occur. Not often, but they do. Dana Retke. Pushing it on Fersino. And the response is Piva down the middle. She's got about a 1.5 block there, plenty of space between the hands. Regularly getting a second look at it. 7-5 lead. Milano looking comfortable here in the fourth. That's better out of Eczacıbaşı. They have to keep playing point for point, step for step. Milano is not the kind of team that you can let get a little bit of a cushion. They will run with it. And the answer is to go high and between the seam of the block, especially if you're Erkek, a smaller attacker. High hands for Lanier as well. Back to Jackie Sal. She's dug. Igonu looks for the angle, looks for the touch. Is it in? Is it out? It's called out of bounds. No argument from Milano's side. The spin that Igonu finds. It does go out of bounds, but she's getting sideways on the ball almost. Gets another chance. This time it's in. Good dig from Piva. Easily handled Lanier on the outside. Two bodies out of the offense. Jackie Sal really the only option. Was it a fast? Was it a slide? Was it a high ball to the right side? Whatever it was, it worked well. Have a look at this. With the tip, there's two attackers out. The only option really is a pipe to the middle. So Jackie Sal on the fast connection from her libero. We'll take it. If you're an Eczacıbaşı fan, you'll be happy with that. Any point, any way. That, however, is an elite swing. There's the problem. As soon as you take your foot off the gas, the perfect pass, maybe just a step forward for Bosio, but her middle goes with her and wide open space on the angle. Off hands. Middle's D, but it's an overpass. Cleaned up by Eczacıbaşı on the right side. Shaheen wants to get involved in the offense, and she's one of the taller setters that you'll see. She's 190 centimeters. Puts a bit of pace on it with a top spin snap. Here comes Erkek. She's only 182. Compare that to her setter. 8 inches shorter than her setter. High ball to the outside. High indeed. And speaking of height, Katakord at 197, almost 2 meters of her. And she goes up to have a swing. We're looking at the best scorer of the Russian league last season. Back in Turkey, back in her home country. How about the ball over in 2? How about your setter, first setter? You saw one attack on the overpass. You knew it was only a matter of time before Bozio got her involvement. You've always got to keep your eyes on her. She is a sneaky setter when she's front court. Quick middle. Passing too good from Eczacıbaşı. That connection is what Milano feared in the first set. What I like about Sinead Jackie Sal's attacking right now is she's using all areas of the net. We've seen that short ball behind, plus the long slide, plus a little bit in front as well. Really just pulling the strings on the blockers. Great defense, out of system play, high ball counter court. Goes off hands, yes please, Eczacıbaşı fans rejoice. 2-point lead for the home team and a timeout for the visitors. Milano down by 3. Got to start with a good pass. There's one. Egonu has a big rip, and it goes way out of bounds on the other side. That's how much power she puts on her attacks. She can hit the block on the right side of the net, and it goes all the way out the other side of the court. That is impressive. Shaheen tells them to hit the gym. Best setter of the Club World Champs in 2024. Taking this set into her own hands a couple of times. If you're the setter as well and you're going up against Denise, you want to be the second, or at least the last player to touch the ball. Defense good. Goes off the hands. Blockers doing their job. And a tip long is enough to find the floor. Julio is having some words with his bench. How did that go through the block, I think, is the question. Stysiak powers one off the hands, keeps Eczacıbaşı in a good position. 3-point lead. Stysiak was the best scorer of the VNL with her Polish team in 2023. On the other side of the court, Coach Laverini, coach of Poland, watching on. Doesn't matter, Dana Recki is all over the middle attack. When Eczacıbaşı get a free ball or they have an easy pass, there are so many weapons. There's just impossible to cover all those players. I mean, do the math. 4 attackers coming at you. Only 3 blockers. Free ball coming. Countercourt from the backcourt, and we haven't seen a whole lot of backcourt attack from Countercourt, but she is comfortable there. Milano starting to recognize why Eczacıbaşı have been so threatening in the Turkish league. Stone cold face and a timeout at 16-11. Eczacıbaşı taking control of this set. They had to do it. Backs were against the wall. It's a must-win set for Eczacıbaşı. Although I haven't said that, do not count out Milano. This is a team that knows how to come back, knows how to fight. Again, working the line over and over. She's done it. And Agonu at the line. Got a couple of aces up her sleeve already. Targets Karakurt, doesn't get the point. Ball continues. Tip on the right side. Remember, no setter on court for Milano. The first half of the double sub was executed. Igonu's at the line as an opposite. Akimova in the front court as an opposite. No setter. And that's when you have to communicate extra between the middles and the libero usually. And that's exactly what goes wrong there. The ball dies inside. Akimova has to struggle to try and push off the hands. I don't think she got a touch. The referees didn't think so either. There is a challenge on court to have a look at it. I don't see a finger wiggling, and neither do the referees. No block touch. Does Eczacıbaşı keep the point? Now that means a couple things for Milano. It means Igonu's off the line. First of all, no more service pressure from her. Also, the double sub continues. Kenny Miner comes in. Setter out of Stanford in the USA. Defense from Retke. Does it pay off? Yes, it does. Counts for two if your middle pops it up, and Karakurt pops it down. Shaheen recognizing her hot hand, and it's Karakurt at the moment from the back court, from the front court, from off the court even. She could probably score. Brings Elena Pietrini, the 25-year-old Italian outside hitter, onto Milano's side. She takes the first contact. It's 18-12 for Eczacıbaşı. Akimova cannot find the court. That spreads to a 7-point lead. Miner hangs it inside, and Akimova with way too much heat on it. Better. Testing the block. Akimova last season in Novara, before that Lake Hannay in France, but she was the MVP of the Challenge Cup in 2024. Connection no good on Eczacıbaşı's side. Good sign of things for Milano. Again, they are targeting Karakurt. You can understand why. And Bregoli immediately recognizing he's a solid passer in the backcourt. Needs to keep on to this lead. Just hang on to it. Brings in Meliha for that exact reason. And another point goes in the pocket of Milano. Looked like the ball tagged the antenna on Eczacıbaşı's side, so a timeout called. It's 19-15. Eczacıbaşı's still in the lead, 19-15. But Milano on the comeback trail. Yaprak Erkek thinks that ball was in, and I think the referees agree with her. Slices it past the block. Ooh, hang on a sec. Hang on just a sec. That looks wider than in real time, so Milano is going to challenge. Rightfully so. This could be a pivotal moment for this set. Oh, it is out. Wow. Doesn't get a whole lot closer than that. Not a bad swing from Erkek by any means. However, point stays with Milano, and that brings Piva to the line. Off hands. Stisiak bringing some heat, some power, some height, all of the things. Off a Pietrini block. Stisiak last season with Fenerbahce, before that was with Milano and in Scandici in Italy. Pressure serve, it's a 4-point lead. Pietrini takes no prisoners, takes some fingertips with her if anything. Has to take the first ball. Looks comfortable though in that position. Doesn't mind making an approach after having handled the first contact. Shaheen's fingers are gonna have to heat up quickly after that swing. To the outside, tip is there. Minor on the floor, no setter. And the confusion again. Miscommunications can be costly at this stage in particular. Catherine Bowden getting a little Stanford on Stanford crime. (21-17) as Eczacıbaşı need just 4 to take us to a decider. Can they hang on? Can they withstand the Milano tsunami? Two-hand throw, Akimova. She is coming back even harder on the second. Akimova was the best scorer of the French league in 2023. Pops that free ball handily and then turns back down the line against Skouderkort. Igonu back on the court. No setter for Milano. Doesn't matter, they don't need it. An A serve will do beautifully. Akimova looks down the seam between two players. It's Karakurt and her libero. And she gets Akos again. Goes inside. Oh, what a defense. Hustle play, but no. Eczacıbaşı get them out of hot water. That same seam treated twice. To the pleasure of a strong block. And in comes another former Milano player. Smrek out of Canada, the 22-year-old stands at 2 meters and 7. Can she put up some pressure against her former team? Two University of Wisconsin blockers at the net between Retke and Smrek, but they do not stop the Milano attack. Danese turns it sharp. 2 points are in it. Substitution reverse. Set her back on. Eczacıbaşı. Get a bit of luck. Şahin looks for Pietrini. Another one-handed set from Bosio from the backcourt, no less. A ball called out of bounds from Stisiak. Are we going to get a challenge here? Let's have a look. Oh, probably worth the challenge from that angle. Challenge 1 out of 2. Eczacıbaşı, remember you get 2 challenges per set. If you get it correct, you get to keep it. And there's a perfect example of when to challenge that ball. Incredibly tough to see in real time how fast it was going. But that is on the line and then some. Eczacıbaşı happy with that. And that brings up set point for Eczacıbaşı. And they finish it off here. 4 opportunities to do so. Poligonu steals one of them. Poligonu was the MVP of the Turkish Cup back in 2023. She has some fans and foes in the stadium. Second set point chance for Eczacıbaşı. Free ball coming. Poligonu again. Same shot, same point, same player. This is why you never count out Milano. You never count out Poligonu. What a slice. Well, we've got a challenge on the floor, but you saw the ball. I saw the ball. Everyone in the stadium saw it. That ball was in. This is purely to slow down the rhythm by a mile. If you're a flea, it's by a mile. Milano fighting for the chance to finish in the 4th set. Pressure serve on Karakurt. Still set point Eczacıbaşı, and they will take it. Ebrar Karakurt, stone cold killer. Ice in her veins as she handles that first ball. Turns it into a point for Eczacıbaşı, and she turns this match into a 5-setter with that swing right there. 2 blockers up, but there's space in it. All things leading to a fifth set, and Eczacıbaşı could not be happier. They've now got themselves in a position to take a win over Milano. Milano are undefeated so far in Champions League. They won 3 straight sets over both teams that they had played. Eczacıbaşı, on the other hand, only 1 win. Each of these teams has 1 point in the pocket, and whoever wins this set will get the 2nd point. And that's what makes this pool so interesting. That 1st and 2nd place are going to be so close. Eczacıbaşı got a 3-0 win over the Serbian side of Lajkovic. Have 1 point as well in that loss to Olympiacos. Set number 5 underway. We're going just to 15 points. And it is a great start if you're an Eczacıbaşı fan. Hugs from Coach Bregoli as Karakurt shuts down Egonu, and that counts not only for a point, but how about for some motivation as well. Oh, that's an Eczacıbaşı who gets the block. Didn't get the hug, but she got the block. Lanier goes high and flat into the corner. Now, this is a quick set. You're only going to 15, and you want to start with momentum, with energy, with enthusiasm. But a cool and level-headed team will often prevail. Eczacıbaşı focusing on the prize. Again, using their middles where they can, and Şahin did such a good job of this early on in the match. Getting some Eczacıbaşı involved. Eczacıbaşı has 11 points already on the match. How about a block as well, and another big hug. Oh, wow. You gotta love it when you see players getting as hyped, if not more hyped, than their coaches. If anyone deserves a big hug, it's Julio. What a legend. Well, hopefully it'll pay off. It's a 3-1 lead, but it's still early days for Eczacıbaşı. Karakurt looking to be the hero of her team. But not a second time. Egonu. Excellent reception by Eczacıbaşı. Getting the middle involved, and it's Retki this time who's up, and she's early. One of the players in the world of volleyball that swings possibly at the highest peak and keeps it there. She does not bring that ball back down. She is putting it in the corner all day long. Denezi returns the favor for her side. Lazio reading that situation to perfection. Flat serve, back to the middle again. It's middle for middle here in Istanbul. And that's why, because Karakurt has Egonu's number. Couple of blocks in a row on one of the best opposites in the world does not go unnoticed. Have a look at this. It's a tight ball. It's inside. Egonu trying to do what she's done all match long, which is the tip. And Karakurt saying, absolutely not. I match your height with my height. ball off the net, almost an ace. Milano back in a good position, tight ball. Off the hands and a miscommunication. Those ones are costly, and we've seen a couple of them throughout the match on Eczacıbaşı's side. That should be advantage to Eczacıbaşı, especially a tight ball like that. Aganu to serve. Looked like she wanted an ace. Didn't get it, but her team backs her up with a solid block, and now we got hugs all around. It's Kurtagic jumping on her teammate for good reason. Have a look at this movement. She's late, but she stays disciplined with her hands. Retke takes the first ball. Defense good. Milano are tied up at 5. Aganu goes cross and hard, and with the spin we've come to know. That's what makes Aganu so difficult, even in out-of-system play. She's backcourt. Look at the spin. Almost comes around the side of the ball. 6-5 lead, Milano. Timeout Eczacıbaşı. The energy has changed in the building. Just a couple of points ago, Eczacıbaşı were on top of the world. 3 back-to-back blocks on Aganu. She does not care. Send her back to the line. Does she get an ace? No, but pretty close. And her team is on the blocking train. Kurtagic making some excellent moves. Penetrating that cross-court angle, and watch. She waits, she's low, she's tight, she's in the air. Hanging up there almost extra time. 7-5 lead. In comes Plummer Bowden. She goes off hands. Retke's there to clean up. What a hustle play. Fersino. And that brings up a swing for Aganu. She wants the touch, she's calling for it. The confidence of Paula Aganu is palpable. How about that pickup from Fersino out of nowhere? Is there a touch there? It looks like perhaps. Definitely getting the challenge going on Milano's side. There's the movement. Goes off the hands of Retke. Milano will take the point. They have been, well, for lack of a better word, incredible in the last couple of points. They've been down by a couple. All the energy was on Eczacıbaşı's side. They did not falter. They didn't even blink. And we talked about this. Milano are a team that are used to having to come back. They're used to having a target on their back. They've been the team, or one of the teams, to beat in the world of international volleyball for the last several seasons. At least since Aganu's been on the team. I feel like wherever Aganu goes, that's where the target is in the world of international volleyball. It was Conigliano, then it was Vakifbank. Now it's Milano. The teams switch sides, as is customary at 8 points. Topspin coming from Aganu. It's a little bit too much, and Eczacıbaşı let off the hook. How do they respond? Can they make up this gap? Has to start with some aggressive serving. Is Lanier the target? Is it Piva? Is it the seam between the two of them? That'll do nicely as well. Can only be a free ball. Chance for Eczacıbaşı. They have to score this. And Bowden does. Comes in flat on the ball. Pushing off the elbow of Piva. Bowden hasn't been asked to do a lot offensively. Still coming back from that knee injury last season. 1 point down. Diken back on the court for the reception. Tips there, goes into the hands. Again, Fersino is underneath it. But Eczacıbaşı managed to convert the points. 8 points apiece now. We are tied up here in Istanbul. From a bump set out of system, 2 in a row for Bowden. Milano want to chat about it. Eczacıbaşı riling up the crowd for good reason. There's the tip. Ball handled. Situation for Bowden to swing, this time on the outside. 3 points in a row for the American. What a timely substitution by Bregoli. Using all the pieces of his puzzle. Ball to the outside. Piva takes a rip. That's a great dig by Diken. And a tip this time from Bowden. That doesn't fall. Piva has a go. One-handed scoop. Chance on the outside. Into hands. And Eczacıbaşı are sure there was a touch on that from the block. All called as 4 contacts. And again, this is one of those challenges where physics is on your side. Bowden goes into the hands of the blockers here or into the net. A little bit of both from where I'm standing. And that's unfortunate if you're Eczacıbaşı, because that was a good recycle play and a good opportunity to swing again. And because the whistle blew, it's going to be a replay. If the challenge goes the way that I expect that it will, if you saw the same thing I did, if the referees saw something different, that's possible. Anything is possible in this world. But having played volleyball for as long as I have, and on this court, mind you, I lost in Champions League gold medal match to Eczacıbaşı. It was actually in Poland, it wasn't on this court, but you get my drift. Seen enough matches, played enough volleyball to know that is a block touch if I've ever seen one. And Julio was 100% within his mind to do that challenge. Here comes a double sub we've seen a couple times. Akimova coming in, Cami Minor as well. Well, this is a risky substitution. Kaligonu often relied on in the later stages of a set to do a lot of the offensive work. Is this just a slow down substitution? Is it just to try and take some of the concentration? Akimova has a swing, doesn't get it through. Second time she does. High pressure swing delivered by the Russian opposite. Minor keeps her inside. She knows she's gonna have 2 blockers on her. We're tied up at 9s. Tight ball. Ooh, goes over the net. Somehow. Akimova again. Too much. Beautiful pickup. Miner flings it up, but it's a little difficult to see from that angle, and the ball goes back to Eczacıbaşı. Ball in play. Another swing, better. How about perfect? Akimova prefers that ball a little faster and on the net. She wants to be able to put her body weight behind it. And in a perfect situation like this, that's what you get. You can see the angles. She can see what's available. Those off the net balls, those are hard. Kisal puts the tip in. Akimova again. And another huge swing. There might have been some questions about the substitution after that ball went long, but now, have those questions been answered? I'd say yes. Eczacıbaşı raising the heart rates of everyone in the gym. We are down by 1 to Milano here in the 5th. We're going only to 15 points. So that one counts for a little bit more. Kisal flings the ball off the blocker's hands. We are tied up again. Kisal has been phenomenal all match long. Big part of the offense. Eczacıbaşı have utilized their middles whenever they can. Kisal 12 points already on the match. 11 points each. Counter court, back in. Swing's good from Milano. That keeps them with the 1-point advantage, and that brings a reversal of the substitution. Aligonu is going to be back in the mix after this set. Perfectly delivered. No setter on court for Milano. Two opposites, one of them serving and trying to defend, but again, Kisal. She's hitting at 67% efficiency. Every time she has been asked, she has been up, available, and it's a high, not as fast as you might think, attack, but she's utilizing her height and her angles. Şahin is out, Smrek is in. That means a bigger block in the front court for Eczacıbaşı. Will they use it? Well, they won't need it. They'll be taking that one to the bank. Ebrar Karakurt off the overpass. All the Milano players making the symbol for, don't worry, we got the next one. Garcino with perhaps her first error of the night that I can remember. She was aced, I think, once earlier on. 13-12, timeout now, Milano. The pendulum has swung back and forth too many times to count in this set. Eczacıbaşı fans in the stadium, hearts racing. If you're a Milano fan at home, probably the same thing. It's 13-12. Eczacıbaşı need 2 points to get it done. Milano don't want to let them. Karakurt, she goes deep, but it's dug. Lanier into the corner on the sideline. Ball is in, point for Milano, and we're tied up again. Despite the taller block, the Smrek and Retke combination, Milano's still confident enough to swing in that direction. Makagnin back in for the serve. 13 points apiece. It's anybody's game. 2 points in it. You can imagine we're probably going to overtime. Karakurt off the hands. Recycled, going again. Harder, sharper. Fersino is under it. Igonu looking for the angle that has paid off all night long, but for once, the net denies her. She has had that in the bag. 5 sets long. But it is now match point Eczacıbaşı. Can they get it done on one? The pressure of the crowd, the power. But it's the block, and it's Dana Retke against her former team to get it done. Eczacıbaşı can celebrate all the way to the bank, or can they? Wait a minute, wait a minute. Milano is challenging something here. I think it might be a net touch. Or at least they might be challenging for net touch. Not sure that I saw it in real time, but Coach Lavarini knows Dana Retke probably better than a lot of coaches out there, and he's gambling. If this challenge goes Milano's way, we go on. But if there's no net touch, and indeed there is not, Eczacıbaşı have done it. The Tigers have taken down Milano in 5 sets. It was a hard-fought battle. But when it counted, they got it done. That is a team effort if I've ever seen one. Almost every single player getting a look in on the court. You can't even pick an MVP if you tried, or at least I couldn't. Hey, Jackie Sal with her 13 points. Strong contender for me. Stysiak had 14. And indeed, Sinead Jackie Sal, rightfully so. She was involved from point 1 to point 15 of the 5th. Got a player here with offense and defense in spades. Hitting at 67% efficiency in her spikes. 6 kill blocks, 1 ace. And 21 points overall. That's a huge performance from a middle blocker at any level, let alone in the Champions League. What a time to perform. What a way to help your team. We knew this would be a hard-fought battle, and indeed it was. Milano putting up everything they could. We saw as much pressure as we have seen. Poligonu, 24 points she had from kills. 27 in total, but it was not enough. Because that lady right there, Ebrar Karakurt, shut down Igonu when it mattered in this 5th set. Denied her the luxury of scoring points. Ebrar Karakurt had 16 of her own. Here's what's happened. There's the scoreline. Set by set, it was just 2 points in it at the end, but back and forth over and over. If you're Eczacıbaşı, you better be proud of this victory because it did not get handed to them on a platter. Coach Bregerly had to use every single tool in his kit. He did that, certainly. All the pieces coming together there at the end. Tactics and strategies, that only goes so far. The players delivering on the court. The selfie of the victory. Smiles all around, deservedly so. Hopefully we'll get a chance to chat to one of these players about their experience on the court. Poligonu, one of the most experienced players in the world, but only held to a 42% spiking efficiency. Did have those 2 aces to go with it and 27 points, but today was Eczacıbaşı's day. Hugs all around Dana Recki, a well-deserved victory for her against her former team. And how fitting was it that she gets the final block? Jackie Sal, MVP of the night, with some words for the fans and a ball as well, signed and sent into the crowd for the very loyal fans that stuck around to the 5th set, despite the roller coaster of emotions that this Eczacıbaşı team put them on. Up next for Eczacıbaşı, they'll take on Olympiakos Piraeus of Greece on the 15th of January. Milano face the Serbians, okay, Zvezda on the 14th of January. Between now and then, a little bit of rest, a little bit of domestic league, but here's the way the table stands now. Milano still on top. No, that's not right. That was before the match, because Eczacıbaşı should be updated to 2 wins there. Milano still probably on top, though, because they won 2 matches with 3 full points. Now they'll have 1 plus